Okay, we're in business. Welcome everyone to Hydroponics in the Cafeteria. My name is Dinah Mack. I'm the Education Program Manager at Massachusetts Farm to School, and we're really excited for you all to be here. Can you hit this slide? Next slide. All right, so for people who are here who don't know about Mass Farm to School, haven't maybe come to any of our programs, Massachusetts Farm to School works to strengthen farms and fisheries and promote healthy communities by increasing local food purchasing and education in schools. And there's a lot of ways you can get involved. We do PD like this, we do policy work, we have an institute, we do a Harvest of the Month program that I'm going to tell you about now. And we're here to support schools to procure local foods and teach food system education, work with school gardens indoors or out, and increase food literacy to students and the community. So I'm just going to tell you quickly about our Harvest of the Month program. This is available for cafeteria, food service, and also for educators. It's a program that celebrates one local crop a month. And every month, if your school signs up, you get a newsletter that has access to curriculum. It has access to book suggestions for the cafeteria, recipes, ways to serve the food, taste test ideas for students, beautiful posters. There's no cost to schools for this program. If you're an educator or there's teachers, if you're not an educator and you're in food service, you could let your educators know that we also have this program for the classroom. And that is a little bit different. It has curriculum that's aligned to the frameworks for humanities and STEM. And we have an elementary and a secondary level. So it's a really great program at no cost to schools. The goal is just to celebrate our local abundance that we have in this state. All right, next slide. I want to welcome Jane Rice, who is presenting today. Jane is the cook manager at the Taylor Elementary School in Foxborough. She's been with Foxborough Food Services for 21 years and has been working with hydroponics in the school cafeteria since 2015. This is obviously a passion of Jane's. I'm very excited for this workshop. Jane is a recipient of a 2018 Rainier Wholesome Heroes Award, a 2020 SNA of Massachusetts State and Northeast Regional Manager of the Year Award, and Jane is a 2021 Massachusetts Farm to School Trailblazer Award. During this session, if you have questions at any point while Jane is speaking, please put your question in the chat, and Jane is going to save some time at the end to answer your question. So anytime a question occurs to you, throw it in the chat, and Jane will
sound off on here
at the end. All right, Jane, it is all you.
Do you have your headphones on?
Yeah, but I wanted to charge my phone.
Hi everybody, thanks for joining me. I'm so happy to share you my story about growing hydroponics in the kitchen. And before I started, I talked to the Board of Health. So at the Board of Health knows some of the things that I had in mind that I would like to do. If there's any rules, regulations, laws, bylaws, or whatever that I should be aware of. And I wasn't, and they were fully on board, and they were like ready to go. Then it came time to decide what I was going to do, and I was like really excited. So I brought everyone together, the superintendent, the maintenance department, the principal, the school business director, everybody. And I had them come to the school. I showed them a video from the website where I was going to hydroponics, and they loved it. And they had ideas what we could do, such as cutting a window so that students could see what we're growing, which you see the picture right there. And adding electrical outlets and other kind of stuff. So April 2015, that's when I got my first true hydroponics. I highly recommend start small. So I just started with two because I had no idea what I'm getting myself into. So that's why I just start small. If you like it, expand. So,
Jane, can you come a little bit closer to the computer? It's a little hard. It's a
you
little.
know, closer? Okay, I have to get down then, right?
Oh, perfect. That's better.
All right, that's that. Okay. Now, when you have hydroponics, there's some things you need to think about is time, space, lights, pump, water, and plant food. The biggest thing is about space. Do you have space for it, and how much space? In my location, which is just behind me, is used to be my little office cubby hole. So I gave up my cubby hole and moved my ducks into a little area. And I have currently have three hydroponics in there. Sometimes I have four. That's when I'm pushing my luck. Yeah. So LED lights, pump, water, plant food, you're ready to go. The towers you see here, they were donated to us, which I was very thankful, so I was able to expand. So, but that's basically what my towers look like. You see the small ones and the tall ones. The small ones are the original size, and they hold 20 plants. The tall ones, they have what's called an extension. So you get two extensions and that's 28 plants. The rings around the towers are tomato acacia. And they are handy when you're growing large things like tomatoes. So when I start with rock wool. Sorry. This is what the rock wool looks like. It really feels like wool too. It's not soft or anything. So I water it with warm water and then just drop the seeds right in. Yeah. And many times I get visitors and I let them do the seeding for me. Good. Now, as far as space, as a space saver for me, when I have lights to put it on the seed, I actually have it underneath the table. Because I have a table against the wall where I have things on top, but I won't store anything underneath. So I'm like, why not? I do my seeds under there. So so after I plant the seeds, it takes like 5 to 10 days after planting. What I find is that if the package of the seeds says it takes 14 days to germinate, it's really 7 days. Okay. If you have a very cold kitchen, put a heating mat underneath the tray and it will help speed it up. That's that. So I grow in lettuce, tomatoes, cucumbers, herbs, and flowers. And sorry. Here we go. So this is my lettuce. That's the actual tower. So it's also more lettuce. Yes, okay. So growing lettuce is very, very quick. It's very fast. I also use the same head of lettuce several times. How do you do the next one? That's tomatoes. I have to go back to that. Oh, that's in the harvest part. Okay. So when I grow the lettuce, I've done so many different kinds. I've done spring mix, I've done romaine, I've done buttercrisp, I've done all kinds. I did find that the kids do not like red lettuce, so I couldn't do spring mix anymore. romaine lettuce takes a little longer than other lettuce, but I like to mix them all up. And that's what I do. Yeah. Tomatoes. There are like so many different types of tomatoes, and of course, I'm game. I'll try anything. I'm the kind of person that, what would happen if I did this, or what would happen if I did that? I even put 2 tomato plants in 1 rock roll to see if I can get double the amount. Yes, I did, but I don't recommend it because when it's time to take it apart, for that, it's just really hard to do. Because the root, it's just so thick, it just blocks up the like. Now lettuce, you do need to pollinate it. Right? And to pollinate the lettuce, it's just so easy. You just take your fingers and you shake the plant. That's all you have to do. So once you see the blossom, just give it a little shake. That's it. And then that's all you need. So, and there's my tomatoes. Now the photo on the right, I was game to try something new, and it was called the Cherry 1000 tomatoes, where you're supposed to get thousands of cherry tomatoes on a plant, but they grow very, very tall. So in this case, it was not a good idea. As you can see, it looks like I had a bad hair dye, and it's just like overgrown, so big, just too big. So the best tomatoes to grow in the hydroponics would be the patio size tomatoes. My favorite is Red Robin. The Red Robin tomato, it just keeps on growing and growing and growing. It just never stops producing new tomatoes. So I just absolutely love it. Now I'll grow cucumbers. The first time I grew cucumbers, I had to pollinate it myself. I actually took a paintbrush and I was going to the boys and the girls, trying to pollinate it. And then I found out you only have a 3-day window to do that. So I'm like, that can't be happening. So then I discovered that the European English cucumbers are self-pollinating. So I'm gonna try that. And I did, and it's just so much easier. Now above my towers, you can see that I have some type of like trellis, but it's like metal wire. And it's above the hydroponic so that the cucumbers could grow up. That way they're not growing on the floor. So I have strings hanging down so that the vines could grow up and then it would just cover the top. Right. And then you can see the picture on the right, the size of my English cucumbers that I have hanging down from the trellis. I've also a grow basil, and I'll do that at the high school. They cook their loves, fresh herbs, all kinds. And they take a little longer, some longer than others, but it's great. It just smells so good too, so fresh. Maintenance. Okay. Obviously, you need plant food. When I first got the hydroponics from manufacturer, they give you nutrients, and it comes in A and B. So I was doing A and B, but then when it came time, I was running out and I need to get more. I went a different route, and that's when I went with the Flora Grow. And the reason why I went to Flora Grow is because the bloom plants, such as cucumbers and tomatoes, need a little boost. So that's where the Flora Bloom comes in, just to give it a little boost. And then I have a 5-gallon bucket to put water in there. I also have a hose where a maintenance hooked up by a garden hose for me, so I could just bring the hose over and put it in the hydroponic. In the hydroponic, it takes 20 gallons of water. So if you use a 5-gallon bucket, you're going over there several times. That's what I asked for a hose, because when I have 4 at a time, it's just a lot quicker, for me. Right? On the left is pest control. You might think that because it's inside, you're not going to get any pests. That's not true. You can get pests. So where my hydroponics is, I am right near the food prep area, the food prep table. So when I get produce coming in, there could be a hitchhiker on the produce that night during the game. So I use that. It's just sticky paper. It comes folded. You just open it up, and then you'll have it hang on the wall. And I have 3, and it does catch the little flies that can cause problems later on in the future. And it's been great. I love it. It's been good. That's been there for 2 years, and it's been nice. Okay. Harvesting lettuce. I use the same lettuce over and over again. Let me see if I can do it. And this is how I harvest it. I cut it. So I leave about 2 inches, and then it comes back again. That's the second cut. So in 10 to 14 days, I can cut it again. I normally do it about 3 times. After the 3rd time, it starts growing a stem, and then the lettuce becomes a little better. So that's what I do. Though I'm not planting seeds all the time. I just reuse it, and it's faster. And then with the lettuce, you just wash it, spit it. And then you can put it on the sidebar. And then every week we have chicken Caesar salad as a part of an entree. So that is what my lettuce looks like before I add the chicken and all that stuff on there. And as you can see, it's just so fresh and just so clean. My first year, of course, when I started in April, I did lettuce because it was quick, but I didn't want it to end. So I thought, let's plant outside. So we brought it outside, and it was fun, but on real hot days, a lot of water evaporates, so you add water more often. So, but we had a lot of fun. You got a lot of bugs too. Cleaning. Cleaning is just really, really easy. So when this started, when I take it apart, the top comes up. And then, as you can see, it looks very dry. I prefer to clean the towels when it's completely bone dry. When it's wet, it tends to splatter water everywhere and just make a mess. Okay. And then also, you ready for the video to start? As you can see, the roots are very dry. If it's too big, I break them off. So this is what the net looks like. So when the root's here, I just break it off. If you're doing it with wet and the roots are too big and you can't break it off, you take a pair of scissors and then just cut it, and then it just pulls right out. If you break your net, don't worry about it. I have some broken nets. As long as it holds the rock wall in place, they'll go. No need to keep buying them. So after I take it apart, I rinse it in the dishroom. Just give it a little rinse. And then in the dish machine it goes. So yeah, I hold in the dish machine. And then out it comes sparkling clean. So it's really easy. In the springtime, I sometimes do it outside with the garden hose and let it air dry outside. So it depends on, you know, the timing of when you want to clean it. Trying to get to the next side. All right, and then putting it together, it's just the same way as I took it apart. Right. So the first one is already attached, and then I put the knot in it. And they go by A, B, A, B. So the first one is A. So the second one I'm going to put on, I look for 2 holes that have a B on it. And then I line it up, and then I just start it right down. And then I just do it again. We skipped one. There we go. Oh, you can see pictures of peppers. Yeah, I did grow peppers at one time. Peppers take a long, long time. So I planted it in August, and it didn't become ready into January, so it was a long time. So I didn't grow peppers after that. I've had so much fun with it. The most of the time when people come in, they go, that must be a lot of work. Honestly, it's not. Growing hydroponics in the kitchen isn't. Once I start my seed and I have it in there, I grow it. My first year, I was I was very bad at work. I was touching the pH every day. I was changing the water every week. I was doing all that. And then I'm like, do we really have to? The answer is, in my case, no. So when I planted my seed, I ignore it. That I can ignore for 2 weeks. Once the plants gets bigger, it drinks a lot more water, and that's what I add water. And if I add a lot of water, then I just add a little bit more nutrients to it, just to keep it going. But it's fun. I do have a lot of fun with it. Does anybody have any questions so far?
Jane, there are questions in the chat. Do you want to read them yourself, or do you want me to read them?
Tell Dina to read them. Dina, could you read them, please?
Sure. Yeah. So the first question is, could you explain who donated them to your school, these towers? Was it a nonprofit, or how did you get these donated?
First was School Kids, second was the restaurant.
Okay. It took me a little while. I don't know if you guys know, but I'm also deaf, so I'm a little delayed reading the captions. So there you go. We applied for a grant, and our grant came from the Whole Kids Foundation to pay for the first 2 towers to get us going. The other towers that were donated, there was a restaurant in town that had them on the roof, and they ran out of business. So the landowner called the school and asked if we would like them. So of course we said yes. So I hopped in my husband's truck, he came, and Allison, and we ran and we got them. So that's how we were able to get the extra towers. But file for a grant and get one. Yeah.
Great. Another question says, where can we find the equipment supply, like the coir and the seeds? Do you have a vendor that you can share? Is there a place that you like?
Any local hydroponic shop or garden store.
We all got this.
Where can people get the supplies?
Okay.
So, hydro store.
Where I get my supplies, when you first get it, everything comes with it. As far as my other supplies, the pump is a fish pump, so you can get that anywhere. You get it at Walmart, Amazon, anywhere. It's just a regular push pump that attaches to the pump. The water goes up and it just drains down. The nutrients, you can get that at Amazon, or you can get that at Hydroponics Supply.
Or gardens.
Same thing with walk wall, you can get it at Amazon, but we missed the start on the lights.
We get it. You can go back if you want.
Yeah.
It's okay.
As far as the lights, we're gonna have to go back and find that star because I want to talk to you about the lights. We have to find that. There's the lights. Okay. I don't know how we missed that.
Skip.
When I first started, the lights you see on the left, they were attached to the tomato cage. The umbrella light didn't exist back then. So that's how we had to have it started. It worked great, but the thing is, when the plant starts growing bigger and gets closer to the light, the plant's burn. So when the umbrella lights came along, we got the umbrella light to the tower, and I love it because it actually moves. And I don't know if you can see it, but this is one of the lights, you just move it up and down. So this one is off because my face turns black when I'm in front of it. So the umbrella lights, I had to order that from the actual Tower Garden website so that it will fit on the actual tower. The lights are just, the other lights are just LED lights, you get them anywhere. Yeah, but the umbrella lights, you have to get it through the bundle.
Okay, you have another question. How much time each week does it take a person to maintain the systems?
How much time does each week this person to maintain the system?
How much time do every week do
All
you
right.
spend?
This week? Yeah. So I wait till not spending any time. The only thing I do is I just look in, see if it needs water. If it needs water, I just add water. Today we did have chicken Caesar salad, so I just cut it. That's not really maintaining.
How long? How long did it take?
Well, I don't change the water, I just add water. It doesn't take up time at all, really. The only time consuming it is taking it apart and cleaning it up. That's where the time is. And because I have the dish machine wash it, goes back quick. Goes back quick. So, and then plants and seeds, it's just like popping, you know. And if we have visitors, let them plant some seeds, have some fun. Yeah.
You have not a question, but a comment that says, Jane, you do an amazing job. The vegetables look great. I wish I had someone like you in my district.
You can, it's really easy.
So
You
you
know,
make
don't be
visits.
scared. You know, go for it, do it.
So you'll visit if you want.
You know, you can always like email me. My email address is after these, it's at the end of the slides. And you can email me if you have any questions. If you want to come and visit, come on over.
That's great. That's a great opportunity for people to come see your system in person. You have another question. What is the brand name of your towers?
The main brand is called Tower Garden. Can you find that? Put the cover on, but it's that called Tower Garden.
Go a little closer.
So if you Google it, you get the actual website, and it has a video, it shows you how the whole system grows, and then how much it costs and all that stuff.
So Tower Garden, okay. Okay, you have another question. Actually, no, it's a comment. Jane, I learned so much from you. We have a fledgling tower garden in our school library. You really broke it down and made it easy to understand. Thank you for sharing your passion. And here,
Oh, thank you.
and here is a question. Is there any requirement for inspection by either a county or state health department if the food is going to be consumed by students?
That's up there.
What did you have to say to the health department? What questions did the health department have?
The health department actually didn't really have any questions. It was just like, I'm saying, this is what I have in mind, and I'll show them everything, and then what my plans were. And because it's in the kitchen, it's not in contact with the kids. The only time it's in contact with the kids, if I have Girl Scouts coming in, do working on a kitchen badge, or if second grade when they're doing their science on plants, how to grow in the different parts of the roots. They come in, I'll show them hydroponic system. I even break some roots inside the water and I'll show them, but they're not in close contact with the kids, so it's clean. If it was outside or maybe out in the kitchen, out in the cafeteria, they probably would have questions, but where it's enclosed and they only have a window to actually see it, there wasn't really anything to be concerned about.
You have a comment from someone that says, "I'm so lucky to have Jane on my staff. She's amazing."
Here's Janice.
Then you have a question, where is your tower gardens located? In your kitchen?
Where's it located? Let me see if I can show you. Bye-bye.
See if
We
we
can
can
Think we can do it?
We get a tour.
see what we can do here.
Alright. So this area here used to be my little office. I had 2 decks here. I used to have a wall here, so I took the wall down so I could bring up the ladder. So I could come and start. I didn't do cucumbers this year because I wanted 2 things of salad to keep up with the demand. But I have my second batch of my tomatoes. So when the tomatoes get hard, I'll push string down to help support the tomato.
Want to walk that way and show them the front of the kitchen? They want us, I just want to turn it this way so they can see the whole kitchen. There you go. What's right here in the kitchen, everybody.
All right, so
Prep
it's
tables
right,
are right behind us.
right in the kitchen, and sounds like Jane gave up an office, a desk for
Our
this.
desk is still here. We just slid it down the wall a bit.
Oh, okay, perfect.
Yep. Everything's still here.
Doesn't seem like Jane sits down much, but
No.
all right, you have another question, a couple more questions. Do students help you? And if so, how do you organize that?
Do students have to, if so, how do you organize that?
Girl Scouts and second graders again. Just
Yeah.
talk about it more.
They, most of the time they do the seeding, but they do not do any harvesting. Yeah, because let's say the public, yes, they don't do any harvesting. They do the seeding, they put water on it. They can put the actual plant in the tower. Sometimes there would be a child that's not having a good day. And if I have something that goes in the tower, they can come in and they could just put seedings in the tower. It just like changes the environment for them.
Absolutely. And you have a question, how did you get the school board and administration to approve such a project? They are usually so cautious regarding endeavors, mainly due to legal liability.
Tell them
Legal
again that we
liability.
showed- Just tell them again that we showed them the video, it showed them the space and.
So when you have them all together, if you show them the video of what it looks like, and that you've already spoken to the Board of Health, and everything has been cleared, and they get the excitement there. It's there. You know, you just have to say, okay, this is what we're gonna do. There will not be harvest by the children. You know, you just have to come up with the plan. Sometimes it's hard to do it the first year, and then you have to like adjust it here and there. Because my first year, I didn't know anybody who had hydroponics. And being that, I can't just pick up the phone and call and ask anybody. So I had to do a lot of online research. And I even found somebody that doesn't even start the seeds under that, they just put it right in the tower, you know? So it's just a matter of doing some research and then just picking what you like, what you don't like, and make done. So you just have to just go with the flow. And if somebody has a concern or question, run it by your bird house, and then maybe they can come up with a plan for you.
You got
No.
You got a comment. I love seeing stuff like this in schools. This should be incorporated into various curriculums for all schools. Thank you. And then you have a question. Do you only serve what you grow?
I always said what I grow.
Do you have to buy lettuce sometimes?
Actually, the last time I bought lettuce was September. So I had to buy lettuce in September because I didn't start the seeds earlier than I usually do. I do have to wait until my floors are done before I can start my seeds and all that stuff. And so when school started in September, they just weren't quite ready to have it. So I did have to buy lettuce a couple of times, and then I've been on my own since, so I haven't bought lettuce since. So one of the nice things about this lettuce, I'm not dealing with dirt or anything, it's just so fresh, right off.
So fresh. Someone asked, do you grow only through the school year or do you also grow over the summer?
I did it the summer once, my first year, but that was back in 2015, and I haven't done it since. A lot is because the school is basically closed. And it's finding people to help out during the summer. You know, you have to make the commitment during the summer. So I prefer to just start my seeds July, August, depending on what I'm growing, and then just keep going all the way into June. So I grow around at home, so I take care of that.
Someone wrote, can I pick up my CSA share at the end of the week?
Just say yes.
And for people who are on the call, we had last week, we had a farmer who's in Williamsburg who does hydroponics and works with classroom teachers. If you want to see a different kind of setup, I put a link to last week's workshop, which was hydroponics in the classroom. So obviously the setup was much smaller than Jane's and probably a little more student friendly. So if you want to share that, any of this with teachers at your school, please do, so that they might catch the hydroponic bug also, like you all and Jane. Does anyone else have any other questions? You also can turn on your camera and ask Jane, or just put it in the chat.
I do have one thing to mention is at another elementary school, they do have a tower and they're starting a garden club. But before they had a garden club, when I worked for them, it was so many kids. So what we did was we did flowers and we did lettuce. The flowers was to make the school pretty, and the lettuce was to feed the rabbits. So that day was so magical because they hatched butterflies in the classroom. So that day they planted the things they grew from the towers, and they let go of the butterflies on the same day. So sometimes it's just a magical thing, you know, for kids and to see for me. Yeah. So if the school has garden club, it's where to go.
That sounds like a really beautiful school day. So this could be great for a garden club. It doesn't take a lot of space. It doesn't take a lot of time. And people have Jane as a resource.
But
Jane, I'm curious about flowers. What kind of flowers can you grow in this?
what kind of flowers? Nothing crazy or too big. Right now, I'm growing flowers for 2 schools because one school has an actual cafeteria. So it's just basically for show. And when growing flowers, I made sure that they're only going to be like 3 to 6 inches. Even though the package just says 3 to 6 inches, it's more like 12 to 16 inches. Because my tomato plants are supposed to stay small, but they're not, they do get big. So must be something in the food or the water.
Does anyone else have any other questions for Jane? Well, we're going to be sending out this recording and also Jane's slide deck. And at the last slide of the deck is Jane's email address. So as you heard in this presentation, you can email Jane. And you can also, if you're near Foxborough, Jane said you could go on a tour, which would be great to have a tour of, see this in person. And so thank you so much. Jane, you're getting some thanks in the chat. So too.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming. We hope that you're inspired to get this started in your cafeterias. It seems like completely manageable. You can start small, as Jane said, and then grow it. Start with 1 tower and then expand from there.
Yeah, do it. Don't be scared. Have fun. You know, have fun.